Metabolically, the vast majority of people are sadly not in very good shape. Only approximately 12% of the population is considered metabolically healthy. This recent pandemic is just further proof that this is important and we need to be taking it seriously. Having poor metabolic health leaves us susceptible to chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, hypertension, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, polycystic ovarian syndrome, dementia, Alzheimer's, and even certain types of cancer. Metabolic syndrome is the official diagnosis for poor metabolic health, and in order to be diagnosed, you just have to have 3 of the following symptoms: excess body fat around the waist, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglycerides, and low HDL. In today's video, I'm going to share 7 simple things that you can do right away to begin to improve your metabolic health. Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Ginger, a holistic nutrition coach, and I focus on how to improve metabolic health and reverse insulin resistance using the power of a healthy whole food diet. If this is something that interests you, be sure and hit subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Another term for metabolic syndrome is insulin resistance. Insulin resistance happens when we eat a diet with too many sugary, processed, or starchy foods. Eating this way leads to fluctuations in blood glucose throughout the day. Every single time your blood glucose goes up, your pancreas releases insulin, whose job it is to lower your blood sugar back down. Over time, as you continue to eat this way, your body has to pump out more and more insulin to try and take care of that circulating glucose. Just as your body can become resistant to a medication, you can also become resistant to insulin. And this is how insulin resistance happens. This leads to a vicious cycle because your body's response is to pump out more and more insulin. Eventually, the pancreas gets worn out and slows down on insulin production. And this is when you'll start seeing blood sugar numbers go up on your blood work. And this is when you'll likely receive a diagnosis of either prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Let's look at 7 different things you can do to start improving your metabolic health today. Number 1, drink apple cider vinegar before your meal. Mix 1 tablespoon with a tall glass of water and drink it up to 30 minutes before your meal. This works because vinegar allows the muscles to readily absorb the glucose that's in your meal. Number 2, get some movement within 90 minutes of finishing your meal. It doesn't really matter what it is, just try and move your body for 15 minutes. You can go for a walk, dance around your kitchen, even vacuum the house. This encourages your muscles to use up the energy from your meal without the need for insulin. Number 3 is to change the order that you eat your food. Here's the order you want to do it. You want to start with your fiber, the vegetable kind, follow that with your protein and fat, and finish off your meal with any kind of starchy or sweet food that you're eating. This includes root vegetables, grain, fruit, and any kind of dessert. This has been shown to be incredibly impactful in flattening the glucose curve. The body doesn't digest fiber, so it travels through the system relatively unchanged. Eating it first creates a nice thick mesh where the stomach meets the small intestines, and it slows down the digestion of everything that follows. Number 4, start your morning right with protein and fat and leave out the typical high-carb breakfast favorites, things like cereal, toast, oatmeal, pastries, and fruit juice. Starting out your day with any of these popular options will immediately spike your blood sugar level to scary heights, and this is for everyone, not just type 2 diabetics. Not only is this terrible for your metabolic health, but it's also terrible for how you're going to feel all day long. That spike first thing in the morning is going to lead to a crash. You're going to be tired, you're going to be hungry, your mood's going to be all over the place, and it's hard to get off of that train when you start your day that way. So instead, focus on eating a breakfast of healthy protein and fat. Think something like bacon and eggs. Number 5, never eat your carbs alone. Carbs on their own very quickly spike blood sugar, causing that rush of insulin. However, if you combine fiber, fat, or protein with your carbs, you flatten out the curve. Your blood sugar will still go up, but it won't have that massive spike. A couple good examples would be to have something like avocado with your toast, or have a handful of nuts if you're going to have a pastry, or try some nut butter on your apples. Number 6, incorporate a practice of intermittent fasting. We tend to eat not only too much, but we also eat too often and for too many hours during the day. Shortening your eating window is an incredibly powerful way to improve your metabolic health. If you're not eating, you're not spiking your blood sugar, and then there's no reason for insulin. This one can feel a little bit scary if you're just getting started, so go gentle. A great place to start is just going 12 hours between dinner and breakfast. When that feels easy, you can play around with 14, 16, and eat even up to 18 hours. Number 7, and my final tip for improving metabolic health, is to eat a low-carb diet, something like the ketogenic diet. This is the ultimate tip, as minimizing the carbs altogether means no glucose spikes, which then keeps your insulin low all the time. If you really want to supercharge your metabolic health and have the biggest impact, consider combining number 6 and 7, eating a low-carb diet and practicing some intermittent fasting. You're going to be surprised at just how quickly your metabolic health improves, and you'll not only start seeing it in your blood work that your doctor runs, but you're going to feel it in your day-to-day life. All right, let's recap. Drink apple cider vinegar before your meals. Get some sort of movement following your meals. Change the order that you eat, starting with fiber, followed with fat and protein, and followed with any starchy and sweet foods. Avoid carbs in the morning and instead focus on protein and fat. Never eat your carbs alone. Incorporate a practice of intermittent fasting and eat a low-carb diet. All right, that's what I have for you today. If you know anyone who needs this information, please feel free to share. And again, thank you for checking out my channel.